Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order the October 25th, 2021 organizational meeting of the Town of Olds. So this is the one time I get to actually manage the meeting and chair the meeting for a short while until I hand the gavel over to the mayor. And before I get an opportunity to do that, I get to swear in each and every one of you, and it is in alphabetical order, with the mayor going first and then the council going afterwards. We are going to do the swearing in the center here, so it can be captured on our camera. And with that, we'll get started with the swearing in. So, Mayor Dahl. I'll lead the way and you come with me. So if you go here. Okay, so this is the official swearing in of the 2021 to 25 Town of Olds Municipal Council. So this is the official oath of office, and I, Judy Dahl,
I, Judy Dahl,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
and to the best of
and
my
to the best of my
ability, execute accordingly to the law
execute accordingly to the law
of the office of mayor.
of the office of mayor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
With that, I'll ask you to take a pen and sign your oath here.
Yes.
It is. And you can take a picture coming here. So I'll keep that here. So if you can go over, and are we going to take a picture right now? Yeah. Okay.
It's an older one.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, Councilor Blatz. I, Wanda Blatz,
I, Wanda Blatz,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability,
I swear I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability,
execute accordingly to the law
execute accordingly to the law
of the office of councillor.
of the office of counselor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, and I'll ask you to take a pen and sign. This time I'll remember to take a pen.
I presume you're going to go for a shot at it.
Yes. Mr. Cummings. The official oath of office, I, James Cummings,
I, James Cummings,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and the best of my ability
swear that I will diligently, faithfully,
and the best of my,
and to my best of my ability,
execute according to the law of the office,
execute
accordingly
accordingly
to the law
to the law
of
of
the
the
office
office
of counselor.
of counselor.
So help me God.
So help me God. Should have printed that one off.
I will. Have you sign?
It is a tongue twister.
Thank you.
Oh, I missed.
Okay, over to the flags we shall go.
I didn't even notice. Let me make sure. Well.
Daily. So the official oath of office. I, Daniel Daly,
I, Daniel Daly,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
I swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute accordingly to the law
execute accordingly to the law
of the office of counselor.
of the office of counselor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And with that, take a pen from here.
Oops, sorry.
And you can put that over here as it is. With that, we all go over to the flags.
Good. Okay. That is down there.
Councilor Ryan, the official oath of office. I, Heather Ryan,
I, Heather Ryan,
solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute accordingly to the law
execute accordingly to the law
of the office of counselor.
of the office of counselor.
And with that, if you could take a pen from here. With that, and then we walk over to the flags. Councilor Walsh, the official oath of office. I, Donald Harvey Walsh,
I, Donald Harvey Walsh,
swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
swear that diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability,
execute accordingly to the law
execute accordingly to the law
of the office of counselor.
of the office of counselor.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And if you can take a pen from here, I'll get you to sign.
That's a slippery one.
Great. Go over with you and we'll place. Last and not least, the official oath of office to Mr. Wilson. I, Darren Wilson,
I, Darren Wilson,
solemnly affirm
solemnly affirm
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability
execute accordingly to the law
execute accordingly to the law
of the office of counselor.
of the office of counselor.
If you could take a pen, I'll get you to sign your oath. Thank you, and I will sign myself. And we'll go over to the flags. Mayor, I think it might be best to hand you the gavel here right after this last one. So the last official part of my officiating of this meeting is to hand over the gavel to the incoming mayor, and this has got a lot of history to it. It has been used in the past by the mayor herself and on many occasions. So with that, Mayor, congratulations. And now the meeting is yours and the gavel has been handed to you.
Thank you. And just for information, Dawn Bennett was a volunteer in the town of Olds and handmade this from a tree. So hopefully we could keep this staying in the town of Olds in the future as well.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, we can do it, I'm okay with doing a group picture if everybody else wishes to do so.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, if anybody declines, then I don't think we can, but I'm great with everybody
So shall we meet at the flags?
at the flags. It will be.
Okay. I'm on. Well, welcome all, and thank you very much, administration, CEO Merritt, and all the other administrators here this evening. We've already called the meeting to order, so we will, on item number 2 to our organizational meeting agenda, adoption of the organizational meeting agenda. At this time, I would ask Councilor Batts.
Thank you, Mayor Dahl. I move that we adopt the organizational meeting agenda as presented for Monday, October 25th, 2021, as presented.
Thank you, Councillor Blatz. Does anyone have any questions? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. Those in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Page 3 of your agenda, date, time, and place of regular council meetings. And this is to ask for a motion. The recommendation will be part of your first part of the motion. And further, we will add that the annual organization piece, instead of having two, do we need 2 separate motions?
I believe so.
Oh.
I'd like to speak.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Merritt.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just want to highlight that this is a recommendation. It's not what's in the procedural bylaw. Basically, the bylaw has for the second Monday to be a 1 o'clock meeting and for the fourth Monday to be a 6 o'clock meeting. We are asking that it, and for the organizational meeting, it is the fourth Monday of October. So what we have recommended here is that all meetings start at 1 o'clock, but it is truly council's decision to determine the times of the meetings. So I just wanted to explain the recommendation versus what the bylaw says.
Thank you very much, Mr. Merritt. As well, I would like to add that I'm certain that all of you had the opportunity to read the request for decision, and it does have some background and stating within it that speaks to the reasoning behind administration believing that they would ask council to have their meetings at 1 p.m. In support of the greater access to technical support as well as the cost effectiveness. And at this time, I'll open the floor to any questions. Councillor Ryan?
Thank you, Your Worship. I would like to make a motion that the regular council meeting dates for the period November 21st, 2021 to October 2022 be held in the council chambers at the town office, 4512-46th Street, Olds, Alberta, as per the following schedule, and I'm fine with the 1 o'clock
Thank you.
posting.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor at this time from Councillor Ryan. If there's no further questions at this time, then I will call for the vote. Those in favor? That is carried. And I will go for the motion for the second part here for the organizational meeting, that the annual organizational meeting for 2022. I'm looking for a motion for that one, please. Who would like to make that? Councillor Blatz.
Thank you, Mayor Dahl. I move that the annual organizational meeting be held on Monday, October 24th, 2022 at 1 p.m. in the council chambers at the Town of Olds office, 4512-46th Street, Olds, Alberta.
Very good. Any further questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That is carried. Very good. We got through the first part of our business. We're doing good. All right. Item 4, date, time, and place of policies and priorities committee meetings. Again, very familiar to the same as we have just completed. I would encourage a councillor to put the motion on the floor. Who would like to try it? Councillor Daly.
Thank you. I'd like to move that the Committee of Council Policies and Priorities meeting for the period of November 2021 to October 2022 be held in the following dates at 10 a.m. in the Council Chambers, Town Office, 4512 46th Street, Olds, Alberta, as the chart is attached.
Very good. Again, is there anything, any further you'd like to add, Mr. Merritt?
Again, the procedural bylaw had this meeting start at 1 o'clock. We found that basically there was often conflict with people presenting and administration presenting items, and we think that this would be very good for our public to make their presentations in the afternoon, and therefore we'd be able to schedule them so that they are not waiting to be presenting to council on the various items that they would like to talk about. And just one other thing I'd like to note is that the June 7th date is a Tuesday. It's not a holiday on the 6th. What happens is FCM has their meeting, and often their gala in the past has been late into Sunday evening. And at times, depending where the FCM meeting is, it's been very hard for council to get back to a 1 o'clock or 10 o'clock meeting. So that's why we're suggesting that the Tuesday, this June 7th, be selected.
Other questions from council at this time? Some are familiar with the procedure. Otherwise, I'll call for the motion. Councillor Wilson.
Your worship, I just have a question. Given that we have delegations coming, and I realize some of those will be daytime folks, but would we not consider possibly evening meetings for this particular meeting, the policies and procedures? Just
Mr.
for
Merritt?
accessibility and.
Yeah.
What's your experience?
Well, the experience has been is that we've always had the policy of priorities meeting in the afternoons. It's only been council that had meetings in the evening in the past, and that was the previous, before COVID. So there is an opportunity for people to present through Zoom as well. We're going to have to engage our public differently. Even after COVID, we found that people presenting from out of the town, out of the province, it's good to have that ability to do it. And we have seen no problems with people presenting in the afternoons for the most part. I'm sure people would be mixed in regards to it. Some may prefer the evenings, others would prefer the afternoons to do their presentations.
Thank you. I know Councillor Ryan would like to speak. I just wanted to add to Mr. Merritt's comment. Thank you. Again, this becomes a financial position with staff and overtime, et cetera. Just to keep that in the back of your mind, Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Your Worship. I also wanted to add on to Mr. Merritt's comments in the fact that policy and priorities meetings are typically fairly long, could go 4, 5, 6 hours, and if you started at 6 o'clock, we would be here till midnight sometimes. So that would not be a good idea.
I concur with Councillor Ryan on that and Mr. Merritt, and that was an excellent question, Councillor Wilson. However, speaking, they do tend to get you all tied up with conversation and information sharing, because basically it's the opportunity for the public and volunteers to come and tell us who they are and what they do, and it can become quite lengthy. Now, we do not have a motion on the floor, do we? Or do we? We do have a motion on the floor? That's correct, and that was very well done. Thank you. Any further questions? Councillor Daly.
So just point of clarification then, the motion stands as 10 a.m.?
That's correct.
Thank you.
If there's no further questions, then the motion stands, and I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That is carried. Thank you, Mr. Merritt. We're moving now to page 7, item 5. This is the deputy mayor schedules. Now, before we, just for information sharing, the deputy mayors, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Merritt, this is a position, I know in the past there have I hope that's not the plan around the table this evening, because it's a great opportunity for you to learn what's going on. However, speaking, there are people in the past that did not want to be part of the deputy mayor. So in looking over the recommendation, typically what we look for is there a time here that you are busy and know that you don't want? If you don't want it, then just recommend the dates that you like. I think the best thing for us to do is go around the table. Shall we do it again alphabetically? Sure, why not? All right. So we'll start with Councillor Blatz.
Thank you, Mayor Dahl. I would be comfortable to take November and December if I could. January and February are not good months for myself, but if someone else feels they
Okay.
would like to, that would be fine. I could potentially pick a different time, but
Okay, well, let's start with that. And in all fairness, maybe we'll just go up and down. So now we'll go to Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor Dole. I don't have a problem taking January and February.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Wilson. We'll put you down for January, February, and we'll go back up to James Cumming, Councillor Cummings.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'll just do March, April, it's fine.
Cummings, thank you. All right, and now to Councillor Walsh.
I'm good with May, June. There's no conflicts that I can see.
Okay, and keep in mind, of course, if that does tend to change, we're all flexible, and we're a team to help each other out in any area we can. All right, next. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted for a point of information. Normally, and we just approved it, we don't have an August P&P, so July would only be 1 month. So whoever's going to volunteer for July, you only have to do 1 month.
Okay, and we have next Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mayor. July and August or September and October work for me, so Councillor Ryan, it's
Yes,
between
why
us.
don't you work it out between you two then?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd be glad to take September, October.
September, October, you said?
Okay, so we've got Councillor Ryan on September, October, and Councillor Daly for July.
Thank you.
Not saying that something can't happen in August, because it certainly can, and we would certainly call on you. Thank you. Okay, we've got the recorded names. Any further questions to the schedule as presented? Mr. Merritt?
Just to point out, one of the duties of the deputy is to chair the Policy and Priorities Committee. The mayor chairs all council meetings, but Policy and Priorities is chaired by the deputy mayor.
Understood? All right. Nothing further? All those in favor? That's carried. Very
Point of
good.
order? Point of,
Yes.
sorry, I missed who made the motion.
We didn't?
No, I don't think we did.
Councillor Walsh. Thank you for that point
Yeah.
of order.
I
Getting ahead of ourselves.
I move that the deputy mayor schedule for the period November 21st to October 2022 be approved as follows. according to-
And I believe the recording clerk, Marcy, has all those names for us. Okay, now I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you very much for that point of order. Item 6, appointments of council members. All right, now, typically, this has been a rushed election, and our bylaw states that the council would put their preferences in writing to the mayor in September. To make it easier on everyone around this table, we've made the decision that we would discuss it tonight because we're not certain where we were with that at the present time. So you've all had the opportunity, and at this time we will just go down Would the best way be just to do them by, do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, I would suggest we do it in the order that's presented on page 8 of the council agenda.
Okay, we can.
Starting with the Central Alberta Economic Partnership.
So what we'll do, and it was stated in a process that was sent to us, was we will go down then by either authority, board, commission, or committee. And if you are interested, state your name. We'll put each name down to each board, authority, commission, or committee. And at the end, we'll have to figure out where to go from there. Okay, starting with Central Alberta Economic Partnership. All those that are interested, please raise your hand. Okay, we have 3. We have Councillor Cummings, we have Councillor Walsh, was that correct? And Councillor Wilson. Ready to proceed? And we all have all counsel for emergency management, so that was easy. And hopefully our Director of Protective Services. Yes?
Sorry, just to get clarity, so what, because we have 3 for CAPE, are we going to come back and do a vote at the end then, or
Well, I think
would you like to?
I think we should, because we don't know how many want to be on
Certainly.
other areas.
Okay.
And we have to level it out. We
You
have to
bet.
leverage it out. Okay. So we're good with all counsel for emergency management disaster services. This is the first time we've ever had to do this, and it'll get easier as we move forward each year. Now, family and community support services, please raise your hand if you're interested. Okay, Council.
Mayor Dahl, I've sat on for the last few years, so I would be quite glad if Councillor Daly wishes to sit on that board. I think that would be excellent.
Okay, do we need 2 members?
1 member and an alternate.
Okay. Okay, so we will put the 2 names of Councillor Daly and Councillor Blatz. I'm just going to check these off and trust the recording clerk is getting all the names. And next, we have the Intermunicipal Cooperation Committee, to which I would be required to sit on, and I would like to see hands for 2 more positions. Okay, we have Councillor Cummings, Councillor Blatz, Councillor Ryan, Councillor Walsh, and Councillor Wilson. That's the rest of council. Okay. And we have a process we'll follow at the end of this. Thank you. Mountain View Regional Waste Management Commission. We have Councillor Cummings. Okay. Is there any other affiliation to this, to the Waste Commission? I was considering myself, but there are affiliations, well, with the Waste Commission, that you would be attaching whoever's on that to work with? Would you like to share that at this time, or shall we wait till we go further?
The Waste Commission will be made up of other councillors that are members of the commission from other municipalities, so that's who you'll be joining at the committee or the commission level.
That would, that's very good. Councillor Cummings, you've got, that's a lot of homework you'll have, but I'm sure you're up to. Okay, let's do a raise of hands once again.
Madam
So
Mayor, I would be an alternate if Councillor Cummings would like to have that.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Cummings and Councillor Ryan. Okay. Mountain View Regional Water Services Commission. Am I allowed to put my name to that as well? Or does it?
I believe you are. There's mayors that have sat on commissions in the past, so I see no reason why you could not be their representative.
Yeah, I have sat on it in the past, and I do have great interest, but let's see who else is interested. I'm going to put my name up. Okay, Councillor Wilson, Councillor Blatz, and Mayor Judy. Mountain View Seniors Housing Board. Counselor Ryan, Counselor Daly, and Counselor Blatz. Did you have your hand up? No? Okay. So there's 3 there. Municipal area partnerships, of course, that is myself required, as all other mayors in the region. Mr. Merritt? Municipal Planning Commission. We have 3 councillors sitting on there now. Okay, I see. And an alternate. Municipal Planning Commission. Let's show of hands. Councillor Wilson, Councillor Cummings, and Councillor Blatz, and Councillor Daly. Thank you. Yes?
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I cannot sit on that Municipal Planning Commission as I am the oldest appointed member on the Regional Development Appeal Board, so that would be a conflict.
Did we state your name in this first round? No?
No.
Okay,
I just
well-
wanted to make sure that
Oh.
that was clear.
Yes, I understand. Thank you. And we've got those names. Good. Olds and District Chamber of Commerce. Councillor Daly, Councillor Cummings. Okay, I think we've got 2, but that's fine. Did you say you wanted? No, that's fine. Okay, we've got 2. Olds Citizens on Patrol Society. Councillor Daly and Councillor Wilson. Thank you. Olds Institute for Community and Regional Development. Councillor Cummings, Councillor Wilson, and Councillor Daly. Olds Policing Advisory Committee. I was interested in that too, but I could also just go and listen to what they have to say. Councillor Ryan and Councillor Blatz. I'm not seeing any other hands. Councillor Ryan, your question?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I believe the Olds Policing Advisory Committee should have 2 councillors and an alternate. This is incorrect on this list. We had myself and Councillor Overwater on there, and Councillor Thompson was the alternate last time. So just to let you know that that needs to be updated, so we'll need 3 people anyway.
Amen. Mayor Dahl. Olds Municipal Library Board. Councillor Walsh, Councillor Ryan. And is that correct as well? We only need 1? Okay, good. Parkland Community Planning Services. Councillor Wilson, Councillor Walsh. No, sorry, Councillor. Yes?
My apologies. The Olds Municipal Library Board, you said 2 names? Walsh and Ryan, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so we only need 1, so we'll be doing a draw.
That's-
Okay, I just
that's
wanted to make
good.
sure I
There's good.
didn't.
We're going to be doing a draw for lots here.
Okay,
Yeah. Not at all. It'll leverage itself out. Parkland Community Planning Services, again. Councillor Wilson, Councillor Ryan. Okay, that's 2. Good. Parkland Regional Library. Councillor Walsh. Councillor Walsh and Councillor Ryan. Public Art Advisory Committee. Councillor Blatz. And, yes, thank you. Councillor Cummings? Very good. Thank you. Red Deer River Municipal Users Group. Councillor Walsh, he's very familiar with that. That's good to hear. And Councillor Cummings and Councillor Blatz. South Red Deer Regional Wastewater. Councillor Wilson, Counselor Walsh, Counselor Blatz, Counselor Cummings, Counselor Daly. And Southern Alberta Energy from Waste Association right now is looking for one member. Counselor Wilson, Counselor Ryan. And I believe that's it for now, because the others do not have elected officials on the board. And they'll be phasing out?
The Central Alberta Regional Joint Assessment Review Board, we don't appoint people, but people can, if there's openings, we can ask to have people join that. And there's a process that's used by that board to select individuals. And the same with the Regional Intermunicipal Subdivision Development Appeal Board, and Councillor Ryan currently sits there, but it's, again, you put your name forward to basically be put onto that board. The other two boards have become redundant through the development of the 2020 Intermunicipal Development Plan with Mountain View County.
Very good. All right, now we're going to backtrack. And I'm just going to review for you how this is going to work. If the number of councillors requesting membership exceeds the positions available, a secret vote will be required. Is that correct? And does that mean we write, how are we going to have a secret vote? I've never had one in all my years, ever, ever, ever. We have ballots. If you cannot hear what Marcy's saying, we have ballots. Member for ABC, for all the authority boards and committees and commissions. Do you want to continue with what you're saying?
Thank you. So if there's more than one member for the positions, then...
Marcy, your mic went off.
Sorry, there we go. If there's more than one member for the position, then what we do is, I believe, in 2017, we did it by position. Everybody voted for one name for the first position, one name for the second position, and we went through until we had filled all the positions for the ABCs. So for example, with CAPE, we have James, Darren, and Harvey are...
Okay.
Sorry, Councillor Cummings, Councillor Wilson.
I'm just trying to learn last names now.
So Councillor Wilson, Councillor Cummings, and Councillor Walsh have all put their names up for CAPE. And we have one councillor position, and we have one community rep, and I believe our community rep is Mr. Carpenter, right? James Carpenter. So we have one position. So out of those three councillors' names, the council will need to pick one name that they want, and the winner will take that seat.
What, go ahead.
If there's still a tie after that, the bottom person drops off until we have a winner.
Councillor Ryan?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just ask if we could go through the list to find out which ones have been already filled up, because Councillor Cummings has gone on a couple, and I'm not sure if Councillor Walsh or
I
Councillor
heard the
Wilson have done.
repeat, yes, I did.
So we would know, like, how many they've already got, so that we're not over, because Councillor Cummings has put his name up for quite a few, and, there's only so many boards, so we don't want him to have 9 boards, say, when it comes to voting. We need to know how many he's already on, so that we can sort of balance everything out with other people. So that's, I would just ask if Marcy could give us a list of what's already been filled and who they are, so we can make a note.
I think in all fairness, I've heard several names repeatedly around the table, if not just Councillor Cummings here, so, and then just a few from individual councils. So in all fairness, we're going to have to make this, again, there's that word, leverage out. Okay, so are you good with starting that process, Marcy, or? Yeah. Okay. So that seems time-consuming. So, for example, with CAPE, we've got 3 names, we need 1 counselor, correct? I heard not very many names of Wilson around the table, or Walsh, and several from Cummings, yes. So in all fairness, are we all supposed to put who we want on there and then just pull a vote? Okay, does everybody have some of these at the table?
They will in just a moment.
Okay.
So I'm not giving the ones we're done? We're just going to...
Go ahead.
Okay.
If you want. It might just be fast, just
Yeah,
as
just
fast.
give us the names of the ones that are already filled, so that we can fill them in, and we already know who's already on the boards that are already completed.
Okay, so the full boards, if you want to scratch these off your list for right now, are the Emergency Management Disaster Services, because it's all of council. For Family and Community Support Services, I have Councillor Blatz and Councillor Daly. For Mountain View Regional Waste Management Commission, I have Councillor Cummings and Councillor Ryan as alternate. For Municipal Area Partnership, Mayor Dahl. For Olds and District Chamber of Commerce, I have Councillor Daly and Councillor Cummings as the alternate. For Citizens on Patrol, I have Councillor Daly and Councillor Wilson as the alternate. For Olds Policing, we have Councillor Ryan, Councillor Blatz, and Mayor Dahl. In that order. That's the way I've put them. So the 2 councillors are the councillors and the alternate is the mayor. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct, and I think Councillor Ryan indicated that while we only had 1 councillor listed, there is 2 councillors and an alternate for
Correct.
for that committee.
So you said Ryan,
Blatz.
Blatz.
And Mayor Dahl.
and Dahl. Okay, so that's off.
And then Parkland Community Planning Services, I have Councillor Wilson as the councillor and Councillor Ryan as the alternate. And the Public Art Advisory, we need 2 councillors, and we have Councillor Blatz and Councillor Cummings. And those are the completed ones. I have 12 that we need to make draws on out of our 20.
So we will be passing papers around to everyone, and please, when we'll start from the top, and we'll just let Marcy give a go here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She has 12. So we only put 1 name on your... We only have 10. You said we had 12 that we're going to be going through. No.
Just a clarification, there is only 10 that require names to be picked.
11.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 11.
Okay.
11.
We have 11. Thank you. So the results for Central Alberta Economic Partnership will be, drum roll. Counselor Wilson. Very good. So that, we can X that one off. Now we'll go to the Intermunicipal Cooperation Committee. We need 2 counselors.
And we have Counselor Blatz, Counselor Walsh, Counselor Ryan, Counselor Wilson, and Counselor Cummings all putting their name forward. And of course, Mayor Dahl, you're there by default.
Okay. Blatz, Walsh, Ryan, and Wilson.
And Cummings.
Oh, so all of them. That's right, too.
All but Mr. Daly,
Daly
Counselor
is-
Daly did not put his name for this one, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
It went too fast.
Did you want to?
Might as well join the group.
Thank you. So we need 2 names for intermunicipal cooperation. Thank you.
You could put your, we did the, yeah, you should, yeah.
Apologies to administration for your patience at this time, and to the gallery members. This is the first process I've ever done this for authorities, boards, commissions, and committees. And for those of you that are watching, thank you as well for your patience if you're hanging in there. Just one, okay, so Walsh is the chair.
No, we just select the people, and then the chair will be determined at ICC itself.
Thank you for that information. So we have, thank you. Moving on now to Mountain View Regional Water Services.
And for this one, we need 1 counselor and 1 alternate, and we have Counselor Wilson, Counselor Blatz, and Mayor Dahl. Oh, this is this guy. Got it? Thanks, Justin. I think we're just going with as many ballots for the first names.
Individuals, and we just need to fill 2 spots.
So Mr. Daly's giving me 1 ballot, but Mr. Cummins and Counselor Blatz. Give me 1? Counselor Blatz? I've got 2. We're wanting 2 from each.
I guess so. That would work.
One more from,
as long as we're consistent.
Refresh the name.
Names were Counselor Wilson, Counselor Blatz, and Mayor Dahl. Darren's gonna want my fan.
Meeting has a question.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to confirm, for all of these committees, you are in fact ex officio, correct?
If I choose, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So Ryan,
Actually, that's not quite correct. You're ex officio for town committees, not for the
Board-
commissions.
that's, oh, yes, you're correct. Commissions are a separate identity of the town.
Thank you. 5 votes for Ms. Counselor Wilson and 5 votes for Mayor Dahl. And so we'll go in that order unless you wish us to put it differently. So Darren will be the counselor and you'll be the alternate mayor? Is that
That's
correct?
fine with me, thank you.
Okay.
We'll move down to seniors housing at this point.
And I have Counselor Ryan, Counselor Blatz, and Counselor Daly. I'll put their names forward, and we need 1 counselor and 1 alternate.
Okay, thank you. I hope people aren't writing the same name on two pieces of paper, because that would be cheating. This is the seniors housing, correct?
So we have Counselor Blatz is the counselor that won that draw, and now we're looking for an alternate, and Counselor Daly and Counselor Ryan both had the same amount of votes, so I would think that everyone needs to vote for either one of those two, Counselor Ryan or Counselor Daly to be the alternate, please.
Okay, and then I'm honest, I'm going to be honest, that I haven't heard, Daly has only been on one so far, so I'd like people to try and understand without prejudice that we're trying to make things equal, but let's redo that. Did you have a question?
Actually, Mayor,
Councillor Ryan?
Counselor Daly is on 2, and he's an alternate on 3rd.
Okay, thank you for reminding me. So now we're going to, what are we going to
And I'm only on one so far, so.
So what were the two names? I'm sorry.
Counselor Ryan and Counselor Daly for
Thank you.
alternate position for
Oh, they
Mountain.
tied?
Yes.
Right. Are we having fun yet? Come on, you guys, let's smile.
This is the longest.
We won't ever have to do this again.
Not normally. Not for 4 years.
Well, we'll do it every year annually, just to review.
All right. Counselor Ryan is the alternate for Mountain View Seniors Housing.
Thank you. Moving down now to the Municipal Planning Commission. We need 3 counselors and an alternate. Standing on there right now, we have, who are we voting for?
Counselor Wilson, Counselor Cummings, Counselor Blatz, or Counselor Daly?
Oh, so we've got 4 already.
We do have 4, yeah.
So that one's done.
That one's done, my
Well,
apologies.
that's where the X-off is. Okay.
There we go, okay.
Okay. So we have you folks down now. All
There you
right.
go.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we see a hand up?
3 counselors and alternate, right?
That's correct.
So do we not need to still vote on who the 3 counselors will be and who the alternate will be? By casting 3 ballots.
Yes, because then we wouldn't know who the 3 steady members were.
That's correct, that's council's choice.
Yes, I think you are correct, and thank you, Councillor Cummings, for bringing that to our point. So let's vote. We're voting for the top 3 for councillor, and the remainder name will be the alternate. Okay? Thank you.
Pardon me?
Could I get you to refresh the names again, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Counselor Wilson, Counselor Cummings, Counselor Blatz, and Counselor Daly.
Question you have, Councillor Wilson? Oh. You? How's the gallery doing back there? Don't have any refreshments for you, sorry. Oh.
Okay, so Counselor Wilson, Counselor Cummings, Counselor Blatz are your three counselors, and the alternate will be Counselor Daly for the Municipal Planning Commission.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll give you a moment if you need.
I'm good.
You're good? All right. We're moving down to the Olds Municipal Library Board.
Olds Institute for Community, Regional and Development, I think.
Yes, you're correct. Olds Institute for Community and Regional Development. We need one counselor and one alternate.
And we have three names put forward, Counselor Cummings, Counselor Daly, and Counselor Wilson.
All right.
I have to jump in there, sorry, Mayor. We missed the
okay.
Olds District Chamber of Commerce? Or are we just skipping over them?
Counselor Daly and Counselor Cummings are the only two that put their names forward.
Right, but we're still not appointed and alternates.
No.
Historically, how we've done it,
No.
Counselor Cummings is, the first person was the counselor and the second was the alternate, but if you guys want to decide, then I will leave that up to you guys on the floor.
I'm perfectly fine with the process as is. Is anybody else looking at it from different eyes and ears? Counselor Blatz?
Well, perhaps maybe at this time, Mayor Dahl, we should kind of regroup and find out who's already sitting on which committees and how many committees each individual has, to ensure that we're going to have a fair process tonight and everybody gets an equal opportunity to sit on, an equal amount of committees.
It is true. I have honestly heard that there's more names than others and less of others, so is that possible for us to do?
Sure, does everyone have their pens ready?
You bet.
Okay, so Central Alberta Economic Partnership, we have Counselor Wilson with the community rep being James Carpenter. Emergency Management Disaster Services is all of council. Family and Community Support Services is Counselor Daly with alternate Counselor Blatz. Intermunicipal Cooperation Committee is Counselor Walsh, Counselor Blatz, and Mayor Dahl. Mountain View Regional Waste Management Commission is Counselor Cummings and alternate Counselor Ryan.
Sorry. Where are you? Okay, right.
So that was, what I just said was for the Mountain View Regional Waste Management Commission. Counselor Cummings was the counselor and Counselor Ryan is the alternate. Mountain View Regional Water Services Commission, Counselor Wilson with the alternate being Mayor Dahl. Mountain View Seniors Housing Board, Counselor Blatz with the alternate being Counselor Ryan. Municipal Area Partnership is Mayor Dahl. Municipal Planning Commission is Counselors Wilson, Cummings, and Blatz with alternate being Counselor Daly. I do have Olds and District that we said filled with Counselor Daly and Counselor Cummings as the alternate. And I have Old Citizens on Patrol as filled with Counselor Daly and Counselor Wilson as the alternate. If that is incorrect and you wish to switch it, now would be the time. Do you want me to keep?
I'm comfortable personally sitting as mayor. I'd like to hear what anybody else has to say around the table. Counselor Cummings?
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm just seeing if I understand this correct, because I'm new. So when I do the count there, not including the alternates, because they're not attending on a regular basis. Counselor Blatz has 3 appointments, I have 2, Counselor Daly has 3, Counselor Ryan has none, Counselor Walsh has 1, and Counselor Wilson has 3. If I make that correct. Because I think that's what we were looking for, is to kind of find a balance, right? See how many people, what counselor, or how many counselors.
But we still have quite a few to go.
No, I understand, but we were looking to have a gauge to see where
Right.
we were going into the future. So,
And thank you for sharing that. That's correct.
thank you.
Counselor, did you have your hand up, Counselor Ryan?
Counselor Blatz has.
Counselor Blatz?
Well, what I would then do for Mountain View Seniors Housing is switch us around between myself and Counselor Ryan, because Counselor Ryan has sat on there for the past few years and has a very good working knowledge of it. Although I've never had the opportunity to sit on that board, I think that that would be the prudent thing to do for at least for 1 year, and I could sit as an alternate.
Good way to learn, and yes, Councillor Ryan's done very well on that. Are you
Yeah,
comfortable with that?
She deserves
She-
an awful.
Okay, comfortable.
accolades.
Good.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I appreciate being on there. I was chairman of the board and was asked by other councillors in other towns if I would be going on there again and to be, to go for chair as well. So hopefully that will continue. This is a board that they'd like to have people in for 4 years. Mayor Lance had started a really good idea with regards to what he did on the board and having the alternate move up after 2 years of being on, so that the alternate gets an idea, because it's a very difficult board and it's a lot to learn, and it does take time to learn. So that would be a good thing, and they like to have the consistency, so this would be one of those boards that you just don't really want to change people over on. Thank you.
Yes, I've been on that in the past as well. I am going to say, though, I do caution a 4-year term, and I just heard what you said, that they want you to stay on for 4 years, but we do have to caution the fact that there are other members, all members of council should be able to experience boards, committees, and authorities. So to say that we want to, and I'm being upfront, own a position on any of these, we don't.
No.
So we just remember, and you absolutely have done a good job, because I've been reading the past, but I just wanted to throw that out there to you, because we don't own any of these. We do have to share. But thank you.
I agree. Thank you very much.
Okay, and thank you very much. So let's continue. So we left off, so where are we at, Marcy? Olds Institute?
I was looking to council, I guess, to make a decision on what we're going to do with Olds District and Olds Citizens, as we had enough names on the floor. First name went to councillor, second name went to alternate, but I'm hearing that might not be what the council wants. I just would need direction on who's going into what position.
Well, I think we rectified it to this point, because there's a lot of members underneath here that'll change that. Is that correct? Yeah.
Well, Councillor Ryan and I.
Because Councillor Blatz gracefully switched it around now, so that Councillor Ryan is now.
Understandable, but it was Councillor Cummings that said that he wanted to perhaps maybe be different when it came to Olds and District, because I have him as the alternate, and he was asking about a vote on the floor. So that's what I'm deferring to you guys to make a decision on, or do we just continue status quo? First name was the councillor, second name was the alternate.
Well, I'll take your comment, Councillor Cummings, and then I'll speak.
Thanks, Mayor. So I was just looking for some clarification there myself on how that process was, so I'm perfectly happy with the way it is going.
Thank you. And I concur. Otherwise, we'd have to start all over again, because we've been doing it that way. So let's continue on. Where are we at, Marcy?
So Olds and District Chamber of Commerce, I have Councillor Daly and Councillor Cummings as the alternate, and so that one is done. I have Citizens on Patrol with Councillor Daly and Councillor Wilson as the alternate, and I would consider that one done.
Now we're at Olds Institute for Community and Regional Development.
Correct. And I have 3 names.
Right.
Councillor Cummings, Councillor Daly, and Councillor Wilson, and we need 1 councillor position and 1 alternate.
Now, we don't want to start changing the process now, but Councillor Wilson, what's your thought?
Well, I was just going to say, Your Worship, that given that I'm already on a couple committees and an alternate on 1 or 2, I will remove my name from Olds Institute. I've been a board member for a little over a year, so yeah, I have no problem excusing myself for consideration for the Olds Institute appointment.
Would I, thank you, Councillor Wilson. Would I would like to entertain then, shall we leave them in the order? I don't know whose name was first. Do we want to vote on who we want to be councillor and who we want the alternate to be for this particular one?
Yeah.
I would say yes at this point. We have Cummings and Daly, And if you can put your names down on separate papers and put who you want to be the counselor, or just A for alternate? Yes, Counselor Daly?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to put my name down as alternate. I have served 9 years on the Olds Institute, so I would like to give the opportunity to Councillor Cummings.
Thank you very much. See how we work already, and this is our first meeting. Okay, so now we have that one done. We have Counselor Cummings, and alternate is Counselor Daly. Thank you, gentlemen.
Moving on to Olds Policing Advisory Committee, we have 3 names and we have 3 positions, so we were
We're done
considering
there.
that one done. And it was Counselor Ryan, Counselor Blatz, with alternate Mayor Dahl.
Correct.
Moving on to the Municipal Library Board, Olds Municipal Library Board, and if I may, Parkland Regional Library, and I may be speaking out of turn, but I believe normally we try to have the same reps. Is that correct, Councillor Ryan and CAO Merritt, for those 2 library boards?
Yes, that is correct. It's been that way, that the both person is on one is on both, and I had served on the executive for Parkland Regional Library. But it's not necessarily the case. So if this council chooses to do it differently, then that's fine, because a lot of other communities separate it up, so.
Yes, I don't see it in writing in any of our policies or bylaws, so we certainly can select whomever's interested and vote.
So for Olds Municipal Library Board, we have Councillor Walsh and Councillor Ryan.
So let's vote.
Excuse me, Marcy, I'm out of...
CAO has some water here. If any of the members around the table would like water, he'd certainly like to drop you off one.
I'll probably need more. I got one, thank you, I helped myself. He's gonna give me some back that are pencil on them, and I'll just erase them. I thought we were voting on 2, one for...
This is one position.
One position,
One
please.
position, one name. Olds Municipal Library Board, Councillor Walsh, Councillor Ryan. One position. Oh, there it is, thank you. I was wondering where that was going to be on my shirt soon. All right, so Councillor Walsh will be our counselor for Olds Municipal Library.
Thank you.
And for
Go ahead.
Parkland Community Planning Services, we needed 1 counselor and 1 alternate. We received Councillor Wilson and Councillor Ryan. Is that the correct order that we will put it forward as? Councillor Wilson will be our counselor and Councillor Ryan will be the alternate
I it on here.
for Parkland Community Planning Services?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
jumped down. I got excited. Parkland Community Planning Services, Wilson Ryan, is that correct? Okay, we're correct.
We're correct, okay. And for Parkland Regional Library, we have Councillor Walsh and Councillor Ryan again. So we would need just a vote, please. One name, one position.
And 3 left.
Counselor Ryan, apologies, will be the counselor for Parkland Regional Library.
Thank you, ladies, for all your help in doing this process.
Of course.
We're moving now down to Red Deer River Municipal User Group.
And I had 3 names put forward, Counselor Walsh, Counselor Cummings, and Counselor Blatz. We need 1 counselor and 1 alternate.
So we're voting for 2.
Please.
Do we want to do the A beside the alternate if that's really who you want, or just standard? Oh, let's stay standard.
Marcy,
Yes.
could you please refresh the names again?
Yes. Counselor Walsh, Counselor Cummings, and Counselor Blatz for the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group. Group.
We need background music when we do things like this, like some dancing music. Jeopardy? Yeah, great.
I could sing the best of Boxcar Willie if you want.
All right. So for the Red Deer River Municipal Users Group, we have Counselor Cummings and alternate being Counselor Walsh. Moving on to South Red Deer Regional Wastewater Commission. We need 1 counselor and 1 alternate, and we had a lot of names. Counselor Wilson, Counselor Walsh, Counselor Blatz, Counselor Cummings, and Counselor Daly. All put their names forward.
Okay, so we need 2 people there. I'm sorry, Counselor Wilson.
Thank you, Your Worship. Again, I'm sensitive to the numbers and the splits here, and I'm tracking my participation in committees, so I don't have a problem withdrawing my name from the consideration for the South Red Deer Regional Wastewater Commission. I'll remove my name.
Thank you, Counselor Wilson. Now we have Walsh, Blatz, Cummings, and Daly. Pick 2, please. Counselor Cummings?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll go to echo Councillor Wilson's opinion there. I also have enough committees. I have a couple of my name.
Very good. We have Walsh, Blatz, and Daly.
Just for a point of information, if your microphone is too far underneath the ledge, you're going to see this light flashing like yours just was, James. So if you just sort of move the whole base out, the base has to be read by these black camera things. Otherwise, you'll start to see a flash and it will indicate like it's dead, but it's not. Just so you know.
Thank you.
Councillor Blatz, do you need the names again? Counselor Walsh, Counselor Blatz, and Counselor Daly for South Red Deer Regional Wastewater Commissions. Doug.
Thank you.
The right stuff.
Counselor Walsh and Counselor Blatz tied, so we would just need direction on who wants to be the counselor and who wants to be the alternate. Or do you want to vote again to put that position in?
I think we should vote again.
Okay? So we're-
Put A beside the name you want alternate.
that's right.
One name alternate. My paper looks like a Christmas tree.
Well decorated.
All right, so Counselor Walsh will be the primary and Counselor Blatz will be the alternate for the South Red Deer Regional Wastewater Commission. And for SAWA, or Southern Alberta Energy from Waste Association, we have Mr. Wright, and we need one counselor as an alternate, and we had two names, Counselor Wilson and Counselor Ryan. So we would need a vote on one of those to be the alternate.
All right.
Counselor Wilson.
Counselor Wilson?
Thank you, Your Worship. And again, as I've stated, one or two of the other instances, again, and sensitive to the split, I don't have a problem withdrawing my name from consideration and having Counselor Ryan as, I guess, the alternate to Larry Wright, if that helps with the process and the numbers and everything else. Thank you.
I don't know what they look like right now, so if you're saying it's an even split, is that what you're saying, in your opinion?
Well, I'm just saying, I think I've got 3 or 4 committees I'm on, or an alternate.
Are they
on some,
alternates,
so-
though, or are they,
No, I think there's 3 that I'm primary,
okay.
and then 1 or 2 that I'm on alternate, so I don't have a problem removing my name from consideration.
Okay, so the removal of Wilson and the alternate will be Ryan. Thank you. We did it! Eureka! Are there any further comments in regard, I'm sorry, was there a question? Marcy, did you have your hand up?
I was just going to make sure that we put the motion on the floor.
Yes,
too.
that's what I was going to do. Okay, so now we are looking for a motion to approve these as presented. And Marcy's going to make them all look pretty for us at the end. So when the minutes are done, you'll see it. Councillor Ryan?
Thank you, Your Worship. I was wondering if Councillor Wilson would switch then the Parkland Community Planning Services from alternate to the council. Councillor Wilson has 4 as he's primary on, and I've only got 2, so I was just wondering if he could switch on that one.
I'm comfortable the way it is. I'll have to ask council around the table what they think. We've already delegated everything here. Does anybody feel that we should be moving further on more changes? I hear none. So we will vote on, well, no, I think we're just going to leave it, Councillor Ryan, at this point. I don't see any further comments. Councillor Wilson?
Thank you, Your Worship. I guess I just have a procedural question. So when we get a final version of this and we soak on it a bit, do we have an opportunity to revise and revisit, or are we basically finalizing it here and now?
Well, that's a good question. We've never had a question like that. It's usually annual. Do you have a thought on that, Mr. Merritt, of how that process would work?
You're correct. I have not experienced where there's been a change after the organizational meeting. It doesn't mean it can't happen, and if that's a moment of reflection that council wants to have when they see the final list, it's really, I believe, a council prerogative.
Recording clerk Marcy?
My only caution would be that if you are going to be making changes, then I will not be sending out the 20 letters until these minutes are finalized, which means that they wouldn't be finalized until you accept them at our next council meeting, which I believe would be November 8th. November 8th, and then I would then do up all the letters and send them out accordingly after you have finalized the minutes. Normally, I would do these in the next 2 days and get them all out to all your committees.
Councillor Wilson?
Thank you, Your Worship. And upon further reflection from Councillor Ryan's request, I personally don't have a concern or an issue with changing the Parkland Community Planning Services, having Councillor Ryan as primary and myself as alternate. If that meets with the approval of the rest of council and yourself, I'm fine to do that. And I think that puts Councillor Ryan at 3 committees. I move down to 3 committees as primary, and I'm fine with doing that change for the Parkland Community Planning Services, assuming all of council is okay.
Ask questions if we have agreement with council. If anyone disagrees, please raise your hand and we'll speak to it. Because we all voted on this already a couple times. So if Councillor Ryan and Councillor Wilson choose to switch, we're all good with that because it's between them at this point. Have you got that switch? Any further comments to that? Councillor Ryan?
Do we have a motion on the floor?
No, I was just going to ask that. I just wanted to make sure you were happy and everything was cleared.
Yep, thank you very much.
Now I will ask for a motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would make the motion, and I want to thank Councillor Wilson for that switch. And I'll say that, make the motion that council appointment of elected officials to the various authorities, boards, and commissions and committees for the period of November 2021 to October 2022 be as follows, and I trust that Marcy's got the whole list already. As
Be
presented.
perfect, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ryan. Further questions? Those in favor? That was painless, right? Thank you very much for your patience, everyone. Well done. Well done. Okay, 4 more years. Well, hopefully they have that figured out for the next election, and they all get handed in September. Okay, so at this point, we're at the point in our agenda now where we will have to move into in-camera, or sorry, it's not called that anymore, it's called closed session. We're doing public at-large appointments, and public at-large appointments, I will read the following. The closed session during a meeting that is being live streamed, if there's still anybody with us, I apologize for the length of what we went through, and thank you. And this is how it'll work. We'll stay online in the virtual meeting platform. Meeting attendees will see council is a closed session on the screen. Once council has decided to return to the regular meeting, a notice will be posted on the Town of Olds website indicating what time the meeting will go live again. Meeting attendees who do not leave the meeting will see it go back to live when the meeting reconvenes. Meeting attendees who do leave the meeting will need to reconnect to the meeting accordingly. So now, I would like a motion, please, to go into the closed meeting for a FOIP item. Now, I have that on my agenda. It's with regards to the FOIP Section 17, disclosure of harmful to personal privacy. And the time is 7:50 p.m. And the attendees that will be remaining, I'm going to need help because I don't really know everybody's name and who's staying. Mr. Merritt, who will be staying on your staff?
In regards to the staff, it'll be myself, it'll be the legislative clerk, Marcy McKinnon, Director of Protective Services, Justin Andrew, Director of Operations, Doug Wagstaff, Director of Community Services, Michelle LaRock, and Director of Finance, Sheena Linderman.
And the rest of you are welcome to leave, or have to leave. Sorry, that's the process. Thank you, Mr. Cooley, for your time. Good night. Good night to all the rest of you. And is this Shelley? No. Did you say Shelley?
Michelle.
Michelle. Sorry. Thank you. We're going to get you guys all straight. Don't worry.
Don't worry, it's going to change next week again, so.
Oh, is it? Okay.
At Honda, when it comes to innovation with the all-new 2022 Civic, Canada's best-selling car for 23 years, we didn't reinvent the wheel. We just made it safer with features like Traffic Jam Assist plus Blind Spot Indicator. More comfortable with heated front seats and a roomier interior. More fuel-efficient with Econ Mode and Eco Assist. Well, come to think of it, maybe we did reinvent the wheel. Take home the all-new 2022 Civic Sedan with rates from 1.49%. The best just got better. Visit your local Honda dealer today or prairiehonda.ca.
Welcome back, and thank you very much on behalf of council and administration for your patience and time. We are now at our public at-large appointments, and we will start with Councillor Daly for our first motion.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to move that Janelle Adams and Jill Zirkin be appointed to the Family and Community Support Services Advisory Board for a term of 2 years to expire at the 2023 organizational meeting.
Thank you. Any further questions? Hearing none, then I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And Councillor Cummings, please, for MPC.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Leon Muir, Daniel Peters, and Marianne Overwater to be appointed to the Municipal Planning Commission for a term of 2 years to expire at the 2023 organizational meeting.
Any questions? All right, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Councillor Blatz, please, Olds Municipal Library.
Thank you, Mayor Dahl. I move that Inez Hannett, Shauna Severani, Barb Olson, and Jody Hagel be appointed to the Olds Municipal Library Board for a term of 2 years to expire at the 2023 organizational meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Blatz. Any questions? I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you very much. And we are going to move down now to the Public Art Advisory Committee. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that Catherine Escher and Jeff Fraser be appointed to the Public Art Advisory Committee for a term of 2 years to expire at the 2023 organizational meeting.
And questions from anyone at this point? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Those in favor? That's carried. We have one further motion that will be put on the table. I'll ask Councillor Ryan to do that, and that's with regards to the Olds Policing Advisory Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that we defer the appointments to the Olds Police Advisory Committee to our November 2021 council meeting.
November 8th,
Oh, sorry, November 8th, 2021.
regular council meeting.
Regular council meeting.
Yes, thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none then, administration's got that for our November 8th meeting. Those in favor? That is carried. Well, thank you very much. This has been a very good organizational first meeting of all council and administration. Thank you very much for your patience. Mr. Merritt, your staff, and the gallery members, thank you for being here. I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Merritt.
There's been a number of volunteers who have performed on boards over the last few years, and we would just like, from Mayor and Council, to give special thanks to those volunteers. And the following people I'd just like to name, if that's okay.
Yes, please do.
Rose Hagan, I believe, Family and Community Support Services. Barb Adair, Family Community Support Services. Rudy Durier, Municipal Planning Commission. Lisa Sefron, Olds Municipal Library Board. Carolyn Holm, Olds Municipal Library Board. James Cummings, the Olds Policing Advisory Committee. Michael Keeling Barand, the Olds Policing Advisory Committee. Renew Matthew, the Public Art Advisory Committee. Judy Douglas, the Public Art Advisory Committee. And Jolene Staples, the Family and Community Support Services Committee.
Once again, these are volunteers in our community, and the special thanks are well-deserved. Okay, no further comments at this time? Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. Motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Those in favor? Well done, folks. That's carried. Thank you for your time.
How did it feel to be back